Hello, guys and gals, and welcome. So today, I figured we'd do something fun, and that is talk about Mr. NiNi, Mr. Nimoy. He's named after Leonard Nimoy. He's the mascot of my channel. If you haven't noticed, he's actually on my shoulder in my channel icon. You know, the main picture of like my entire channel. He's sitting on my shoulder. Mr. NiNi, of course, is a chinchilla. If you guys have never seen a chinchilla before, chinchillas are animals that are native to the Andes Mountains. They have a lot going on, and if it weren't for a very under famous guy, we wouldn't have any chinchillas at all. His name is Chapman, and if you look up the Chapman story, chinchilla, you will come across the Chapman story, which is all about a guy named Matthias F. Chapman, who basically what he did was he went down into the Andes Mountains way back in, was it 1919, 1922, I think is what it was. I'm looking here on the website. And basically, during that time period, the chinchillas were being hunted to extinction. And they did eventually get hunted to extinction completely in the wild. And he had rescued quite a few of them and brought them back by ship. And I actually have a picture of him here. Let me see if I can bring that up. There we go. This is Mr. Chapman, and Chapman he died on December 26, 1934. But before he died, he brought back quite a few chinchillas. A couple of them died on the way, but a couple of them also gave birth to little babies, known as kits. If you ever wonder what a baby chinchilla is called, you know, like you don't say baby dog, you say puppy. You don't say baby cat, you say kitten. A baby chinchilla is known as a kit, K-I-T. And the very interesting thing about chinchillas is they are extremely inquisitive animals. And I remember looking up a bunch of stories on how they caught them, and it was very, very interesting because basically what they said in a nutshell was that the chinchillas were actually so inquisitive that all they had to do, basically, was fire their gun up in the air. All the chinchillas would run into their little holes, and then they would just stand over the hole. And the chinchilla, within a very short period of time, would come out to see what the loud noise was. And they would just grab the chinchilla and put him in a little bag or something. And that was pretty much it. Let's see here. When they arrived in San Pedro on February 22nd, 1923, Washington's birthday, the Chapmans had 12 chinchillas with them. One had died during the voyage, and 2 babies were born. The 12 chinchillas stayed briefly in Los Angeles until the first U.S. chinchilla farm was built in the high desert area of Tehachapi, California. Mr. Chapman endured several problems at first. From the start, he had problems with chemical matter in the spring water. It was thought that the contamination may have affected the chinchilla's ability to reproduce. Then he had to deal with the theft of nearly half his herd. The thieves broke the padlocks off the doors of the chinchilla houses on the right of Chapman's farm in Tehachapi. It's a very interesting looking farm. Let me pull up a picture of this farm so you guys can see it. That's what the farm looked like. Apparently, they had these like little bunkers because they didn't have refrigeration back then, and so they had like these little concrete bunkers that they put them in, and the concrete was like buried halfway into the ground, so it would keep them nice and cool. As you know, chinchillas have very thick, luxurious fur, and they don't really do well in the heat. So which is silly, right? Because they live in the desert. Well, the thing is that during the nighttime in the desert, it's very cold. During the daytime in the desert, it's very hot. So they kind of like exist on the border between night and day. They're called crepuscular animals. Cats are also crepuscular, by the way. Basically means mainly active during the hours of sunset and sunrise. So they're not really quite nocturnal. They're not really quite day animals. They kind of exist on the void in between. And let me see if I can get a couple more pictures on here, because there's some really cute ones of some really old chinchillas, probably 100 years old or more. It would definitely be interesting to take a look at. They're very cute, in fact. Here's one of them right here. It seems that seems chewing on something. They don't even care. It's 1900s. They don't care. They got something to chew on, and they's chewing it. And that's what chinchillas do, by the way. They chew on everything, so make sure you keep them away from wires. Here's another one. There's another little chinchilla picture. And I always found this story very interesting because basically what they are saying is that if Chapman had not gone down there and gotten these 12 chinchillas, um, there would be no chinchillas. Basically, there would be none because there were no other ones besides the ones that were in the wild. So he basically rescued them, and of course, his goal was to turn them into a fur industry. He wanted to make money off them. He wanted to, create fur coats and things like that. But if it wasn't for him going down there and getting them, there would be no chinchillas to make fur coats out of, and there would be no little Mr. NiNi. And so Mr. NiNi has Mr. Chapman to thank for all this. I got another really cool picture here. This is interesting. I wonder what this is exactly. I'll bring it up and we'll zoom in on it. And because these pictures aren't very high quality, of course, because they're captures from a really old black and white camera. But I don't know. There's two of them in there. I'm not sure what that box is. I guess they're having fun in there. I'm sure he learned his lesson about making their stuff out of wood. Chinchillas love to chew up some wood. I'm going to tell you. They will shred. I mean, just absolutely shred some wood. Isn't that right, Mr. NiNi? Isn't that right? So, we have a lot to thank Mr. Chapman for. We wouldn't even have chinchillas without him, as far as I can tell. And I mean, granted, I'm sure a lot of them were sacrificed as fur coats, but if they hadn't been, we'd have none, and there wouldn't be millions of chinchilla pets all over the entire world right now. And there are, there's literally chinchillas all over the world as pets. You can go into a PetSmart and you can buy a chinchilla these days. People usually have them and raise them, and it's rather interesting. There are some other really interesting details about chinchillas that I'd like to go over because I've had them for a very long time, and it's something that that has been a I don't want to say a passion, but it's definitely something that I got into, and I never kind of got out of it. So another interesting thing about chinchillas is that they are equestrian in birth. So a lot of people, when they think of rodents, because he is technically a rodent, they think about these little pink babies, these little pink nothings, these things that don't really have much to them for the most part. They're very their eyes are closed. They can't see. They can't really do anything except for lay there and wiggle their little arms, and they've got no fur. But that's not what chinchillas are. So chinchillas are kind of like horses. If you've ever seen a horse give birth, the horses come out, they're covered in fur, their eyes are open, and they're ready to go, and they stand up within minutes of coming out of the mother, and they're bouncing around all over the place. So here is a video a long time ago. This is a video of my chinchilla babies, so two that I actually had and raised. I had two chinchillas. One was named Jester, and the other one was named Zombie, and they had these little two monsters. The white one is named Cody. He was an exceptionally amazing chinchilla. And the other one is named Fatty Lumpkins Jr., named after his grandfather, who was Fatty Lumpkins. And as you can see, these guys are only a couple days old, and look at them, covered in fur, eyes open, just having a blast, running around and doing whatever they feel like doing. And this is something that is not common among rodents. Many rodents have the terrible, pinkies. That's what people call them, the pinky babies, which is the little helpless little runt things with no fur and their eyes are closed, and it takes forever for them to even get to the point where they can do anything resembling this. But these guys are very, very young. These are kits, as I said earlier, KITS. And they were amazing little buddies. I do have some pictures of them later on when they were much older, and let me see if I can pull up one of them because I've got tons of pictures of my little buddies. They may be gone, but I will always remember them. This is Fatty Lumpkins Senior. Fatty Lumpkins Senior. He's the oldest. He is a very cute chinchilla. He was always a very pretty boy. He actually lived to be 17 years old. 17 is a long time in chinchilla years. Granted, he could have lived a little bit longer. I believe the Guinness World Record was something like 27. But as you can see, he's a very cute little fellow. This was back in 2003, by the way, so it's been quite some time. He is the great grandfather of these two little babies, or the grandfather of these two little babies. Yeah, grandfather. And they were amazing little pets. He unfortunately died from a malady that included his teeth. Apparently, this is a really common thing for chinchillas. If you do ever want to get yourself some chinchillas, I would recommend that you look into their dental problems because they need calcium to keep their teeth strong, and they also have to have constant things to chew on, to wear down their molars, and it was a problem that I did not know about back then. I was only I was very young, and I did eventually figure out that it was very important for them to have hay on a regular basis because the hay would help wear down their molars in the back and prevent the teeth problems. But unfortunately, it wasn't soon enough for my little buddy here. I did actually nurse him back to health several times, but his teeth problems were just a little bit too bad. I also have some other pictures here. So let's see. I got Zombie. Zombie is the mother of the two babies that are right here. And this is Zombie. She was a big fluffy white chinchilla. The reason why I called her Zombie is because she actually could walk around with her hands out like a zombie. She put her hands out like this and she would walk around like a zombie. And I'm not really sure exactly why she would do that, but that was the reason why she got her nickname. Let's see here. Here's a picture of me playing with Zombie. She's not very big. When I first got her, she was a very small little girl. She was just a baby herself, and after a while, she did grow up into a much older chinchilla. And eventually, she cohabited with Jester. There we go. So this is Jester and Zombie. As you can see, white fur doesn't do so well with with the butt area. But she was a very pretty chinchilla, and she always kept pretty clean. Jester did too. Jester is in here in the back, and that's her when she was full grown. And let's see if I can pull up a picture of the babies. The babies are very cute. So I made a special little enclosure for the babies, and this is Zombie in her special little enclosure. It's not. It was never meant to be a permanent enclosure for her. It was just something that they could mess up, and I could clean out on a regular basis. And they did. They messed it up all the time. But she's not very happy. She just gave birth to the little babies, and she was not having a good day. But that's okay. I still snapped a picture of her, and then inside of here are the two little babies playing around. See, there's Cody and there's Fatty Lumpkins in the back, just having a good time. This was shortly after they were born. And then on top of that, we also have I got some pictures of them when they were much older as well. So this is actually the three of them sleeping together when they got a little bit older. Obviously, Zombie is the larger one. The slightly gray one is Fatty Lumpkins Jr. And this one over here on the left is Cody. He was the really cool one. I was very sad when he died a long time ago. He was probably the best chinchilla I've ever had. No offense, Mr. NiNi, but Cody was a really cool little dude who would sit with me whenever I wanted to, and we had lots of fun together. Yes. I also had quite a few other chinchillas over the years. Honestly, they were all fun little chinchillas to have. This one is Dora. Dora was actually the first chinchilla I ever had. I called her Dora because she loved to explore. Jokes. She was a standard gray. And there are all sorts of other chinchillas that I had over the years. Some of them were inbred, unfortunately, and there was nothing I could do about it. They just did not live very long. This one here is Fatty Lumpkins, and I want to show you this because it's so cute. He has these little black fingernails. It looked like he had painted. It looked like his fingernails were painted. Notice how all his hands are pink, and even his feet are pink, but all his little toenails, they're all black. It was so cute of him. He was such a cute little guy, and he had like this mosaic kind of look to him. He was white mainly, but he had this kind of like gray speckling throughout all his fur. I always thought it was very cute. And see if I can find a good picture of Cody as well. There's a good picture of Cody. There him is. He said, "What's up, buddy?" So enough about the chinchillas of the past. Let's pay attention to the chinchilla of the present. Mr. Knees. What's up, Mr. Knees? You want to say hello to everybody? Say hello? Hmm? Scritchtas? You want some little scritchtas? You want to show them your little alien feet? See my little alien feet? Look at my little alien toes. You see them things? Got some little alien feet. He likes chin rubs like this. He likes just like a little doggy. He likes his little rubbish right there underneath his chin. He'll even lift up his chin and he'll get you in there so you can get him real good. He likes to hide in shirts a lot. He's definitely a shirt hider. You could literally just open up your shirt like this, and inside he will go, and he will hide in there like a little shirt monster, and then he'll pop out when he feels like it. I think he just has a nice time being comfortable in there, and sometimes you can poke him in the butt and get him to come out. Come on, out of the shirt. He said, "No, I do not want to go." I've always thought it was very interesting. Their fur is just so very soft, and if you take a look at their fur, you can look at it. You can just simply like pet it backwards here, and you can see that it has all these different colors in it. It's black on top, but underneath, it's many different colors. What is that? It's like. It's like skin flakes. I guess the skin's gotta come off somehow, huh? They also have belly buttons, which I think is hilarious. I never actually knew this until later on. But if you like look for their little belly button on their little tum tum, you will eventually find that they have a little belly button that's right around here. That's right. I'm tickling your belly button, sir. I'm tickling your little belly button. And you can wear them as hats. They're just cool little dudes. I absolutely adore chinchillas as pets. They're very smart and they're very inquisitive, and they love to play. A lot of the times I would take them into a room to, sort of block off all of the entrances and, make sure they couldn't get out, of course. And I would just let them run around and just have fun. And they would bounce off the walls like little jackrabbits. And the really cool thing is you can just kind of put them on your shoulder and they'll just sit there like a parrot. And you can walk around the house and you can do chores and you can like pick things up off the floor and everything. And they'll just sit there and they'll just have a good time. And no, you're not getting in the shirt. It's everybody wants to see you. They don't want. No, you can't go in there right now. You can go later when we're done. Don't get mad at me. He said, I don't want to. He said, I want to go in the shirt. He said, go in the shirt. If you're wondering how old he is, I believe he's about like 4 years old at this point. He's not that old. I actually do have a picture of him. Ooh, when he was a baby, and man, is it ever not? Well, I mean, he's just a ragged little ragamuffin. When I first got him, he was just a ragged little ragamuffin. He was a little baby, and I went and rescued him off of Craigslist. And let's see if I can find a picture of him in all his glory. In all his glory. There he is. Eating a French fry, no less. I did not give him that French fry. I did not. Here we go. Properties. Down the ladders. There him is. That's what he looked like when he was a little baby. I'm showing off Mr. Nimoy baby pictures. That's right. Him's yeah. Okay. What do you think of that? I also have a very cute picture of Cody when he was a baby. This was Cody riding in my nephew's shirt, and see, look at him having a good time in there. He used to really like to hang out with us and have a good time. Cody was a chunky little boy though. He was a little chunky. I never really understood what happened to him, but I miss him dearly. He's a cute little monster. Oh, chinchillas. Chinchillas. What do you got to say about all this stuff, Mr. Nimoy? You got anything to say to the peoples? What do you got to say? You can say anything you want. They'll all hear you. Oh, look, he's shy. Scared him. Scared him. Look him leer, Mr. NiNi. Shwum. I like to do this. I put them up like this, and I do the ladder. You just do the ladder like this. Go ladder, ladder. You just always keep going down. Ladder, ladder, ladder. Come on. He said, no, I know this trick. He says, the old trick. He said, don't like this trick. He said, you're not never going to let me down. Ha! He cheated, and he ran the other way. See? He knows he's not stupid. He just looks so pitch black right here, doesn't he? Like, I swear, one part of him is the darkest thing you ever seen in your life. Then you turn him around, and he's got like gray on his front, and then when he stands up, his belly's like super white and fluffy. All right, guys and gals, I think that'll just about do it for the chinchilla meet and greet. For those of you who, I don't know, were interested in more about the chinchilla than just simply seeing him on camera. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when it's a video about chinchillas and Mr. Nimoy and all my little pets from the past. Isn't that right, buddy? Thank you for watching, and keep watching.